Welcome to Across the Apothecary, where we discuss health, chat with health professionals, and try to figure out if bacon is really bad for you. Welcome to Across the Apothecary. My name is Elizabeth Plouffe, and I'm here today with my guest, Mr. Ken Jaques, or Captain Ken. Captain Jaques. That sounds very piratey, and you are bald.
But I don't have a peg leg.
You don't, nor an earring.
Nor an earring.
So that's not any fun.
Well, thank you for having me, Elizabeth. It's a pleasure to be here.
You want to cut over the preamble. We had a conversation about preamble before we started recording. But I have to, so we had a little foobar with the recording, so we had to start over again. And I know I'm outing myself there. But Ken taught me a couple of new things already today. And one of them is how to properly do your audio test, which I do before each podcast. And so what did you tell me to say, Ken?
You want test, tickle, tickle.
Test, tickle, tickle. And
test, tickle, test, tickle.
It took me a little while to put together what he was, I'm a little slow.
I'm actually quite embarrassed that you're putting that on, Elizabeth, but hey.
But hey, my podcast, my party. So we're actually going to be doing two pieces with Ken. So this is the introduction to Meet Ken. And Ken and I met 2 years ago?
I think it's right, almost exactly 2 years ago.
Oh, that's crazy.
In September, I think it was.
It was
a trade show.
Social Fusion Network.
Yeah.
Yes, which is coming up August 25th, just by the by. It's being reintroduced. So this is sometimes where the segue can get a little longer, because like I had Wayne Deatter on, and Wayne and I have known each other for, we did the math, and it was 30 years, something scary like that. And then Monica Graves was the same thing, and so anybody that I've had a long bit of history tends to, but...
It feels like it's been 30 years, Elizabeth.
It does. We always get So Ken and I co-organize I'm having a total brain fart. Oh my gracious me. The Healthcare Collaboration Network. And initially I began that in 2014, and then about 6 months ago, approached Ken, and he was talking about starting up a healthcare networking group, which we'll get into in part 2. And so now we've merged two groups, and so now we're co-organizers of this, which is really nice. And so we've gotten to know each other more, but now the group comments quite frequently that I'm your networking wife. Because we don't really have an issue telling each other to F off or what have you.
Yeah, I think when somebody said that they gave us 30 years, that's like, that's what I meant. Yeah.
That's all right. That's what friends are for. It's all good. So we are going to be discussing later on an amazing project that Ken began a couple of years ago. And it's phenomenal, and it's going to change the way the world engages with healthcare within their community. But before we get to that exciting piece, we're going to teach you a little bit, or learn you up a little bit on Ken beforehand, because you've had a really interesting history. And I don't think a lot of people now that network with you in the healthcare capacity are completely aware of what a bigwig you actually are. And I say bigwig loosely because he's bald as a coot.
I was going to say a big wig might be a good idea right about now.
I can't picture you with hair.
No.
That'd be kind of weird.
That's the only way you know me. It's been 5 years.
Seriously? Well, that's another health story, so we'll talk about that too. But some people look good with follicle impairment. You happen to be one of them. You do have a Mr. Clean vibe going on.
Yeah, I shine it every day.
Seriously?
No, but I shave it every day.
I want to look at it. I want to stare at the baldy head. Rub the baldy head for good luck. So we'll jump right in to learn about Ken the man before Ken the healthy man. And what I usually start with is you as a little boy. I see you as like Dennis the Menace.
That's funny that you say that. I had white hair as a kid.
Did
and
you?
I probably was a lot like Dennis the Menace. And
That's
I was,
what I'm thinking.
especially with the twin brother. And I think we were two Dennises and two Menaces.
Oh, your poor mommy.
Yes, well, not only that, the poor community.
Community survive. It's the parents that have to live with the day-to-day. So tell me about you growing up, because actually you and I have never had that kind of conversation.
It's true.
Where were you hatched?
I was hatched in Florence.
Huh?
Not Italy.
Oh.
There's a town in southwestern Ontario. It's about 300 people, and I'm pretty sure they were counting everybody twice. We were just tiny little. We were newspaper boys. We did the paper delivery, and we knew the whole town. We rode our bikes around town, and eventually moved into the big town of Thamesville in Kent. Which that's not London, England. No, but it's the Thames River is in southwestern Ontario, and
we are a copycat country, aren't we?
We are, and then we lived there for many years, and then off to university, and I went to University of Waterloo,
which I'm heading towards tomorrow.
There you go. And I was a computer science guy, but I figured out pretty quickly that if I only took 5 courses instead of 6, I would actually make it through, and I could still have a little bit of a social life. And so I ended up with a Bachelor of Mathematics.
Seriously?
And yes.
You're a smarticle particle.
Well, I
keep that
don't
really
know
hidden.
about that. Yeah, don't tell anybody. So I was a computer science guy, and then I went into computer science. I did computer science jobs for the rest of, up until 2008. Even now, sort of.
You're looking at me like I should know, but I really don't.
I was trying to figure it out myself. It's been a longer career.
So that's very. So what so the Echelon Group, when did that come into being?
So I actually started with a consulting company in 1988, and we grew that company from 2 people to 240 people. We provided consulting services to people in the Toronto area, and then it was sold in 2004. I departed. I was actually asked to depart because they were changing direction, but it was a good thing. Then I started my own consulting group called Echelon IT Solutions in 2006, and then we renamed it to Echelon Group in 2014.
So you still have possession of the name?
So I was the co-owner, the co-founder of Echelon IT Solutions. I bought out my partner. And then we changed the name because we're doing more than IT solutions, which we'll get to later. And now it's Echelon Group.
There was a little poop-eating grin right there. So.
Well, you've already said we're going to talk about other stuff later, so I'm not going to talk about it now if we're talking about it later.
Don't confuse people. Okay. So the Echelon Group, you say consulting and IT and what have you. So when you say other things, I'm using air quotes, so what other things does Echelon Group consult on?
So we changed Echelon Group. I actually brought my wife into the business, and so she's able to do, it's one of those things, you've got a business, you've got a GST number, HST number, so she'll do interior design work under it. She'll do consulting work with other clients under it. I still have the ability to do the IT consulting, but I also do a lot of consulting in the health business, wellness business, and getting a project going in that area as well. So to have everything under IT Solutions was going to be very confusing, so we changed the name to Echelon Group. We went through the official name change and the whole bit a couple of years ago.
Look at you, chameleon. So Echelon Group with the IT and what have you, and what we're going to be segueing into in the second session is Ken's current high level of involvement within healthcare and healthcare development within Halton and beyond. So how did you find yourself in the role with the Echelon Group? Is that just a natural progression from the University of Waterloo, or?
I'm not really sure I understand your question. So
University of Waterloo, Bachelor of Mathematics, into IT geek situation. Echelon Group, so just a natural progression from there? Yeah.
So Echelon IT Solutions was just a continuation. It was just after I had departed the previous company, went on to start up the new company with a business partner. And we did very much the same types of services as we had done in the past. So it still was the IT Solutions. And then I went through a bit of a health journey. And as part of the health journey, I started into some of the healthcare field and moving down that health path and so on and so forth. So it made sense to, if we're doing a lot more than IT, it made sense to change the name to go with it.
All right. And then, so we've already covered that. And so tell me a bit about your business as the next session. But so when you were a strapping young lad at the University of Waterloo with a full head of hair and a twinkle in your eye, did you think you'd end up owning your own business? Have you always had that independent streak or entrepreneurial streak?
I'm just smiling because I want to share a story. When you said you were going to ask me what I wanted to be when I grow up, when I was a kid.
I did ask you that.
When I was a kid, I did the paper route, but when I was a kid, somebody said, "Oh, you're very smart. You can be anything you want. You can be an engineer." And I pictured myself riding around in trains all over the world because I wasn't that smart. I didn't know what an engineer was.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You might have been 7 when they asked you, and that's sort of forgivable because, you know.
So through the whole IT career, there were signs that I had some leadership capabilities. I seemed to be able to work well with people, and they seemed to respect leadership. So I could see myself in a leadership capacity. I don't really know if I saw myself in having my own business capacity. Right. I always considered myself a good number 2 man that would make sure the number 1 man or number 1 woman was able to do things very well and to stay on track and so on and so forth. And
so sort of like the first mate.
So maybe you're the captain.
Oh, hell no. Actually, I was kind of going with the Spock thing because he was, second in command of Kirk was kind of I have a Star Trek issue.
But no, that's been a journey. Is the whole concept of switching from being a really, really good, as you said, a first mate, to switching over to being the captain, and it's a challenge because the captain's biggest challenge is to find a good first mate.
Yeah, no, that's very true, and I find that myself as a solo entrepreneur that. It is a real, I'm sorry I'm pausing there because there's really right now, I have first mates, but they are more the members of my mastermind group than actually hiring somebody or partnering with somebody. Yeah. And that would just make life so much easier. So I can't wait for that day because I know it's coming. I know there will be a time where I'm going to need to do that, and I'm so looking forward to that. Yeah. And you and I have talked, so Ken and I have some pretty amazing conversations about a variety of things, and sorry, I'm picking my eyeball here. And one of the things that we've talked about quite frequently is the growth of both of our businesses and projects, and how we see that happening, and it's just hanging on for the ride until you get to that, which sounds a little esoteric, but I think the vast majority of all the business books that I read say the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. Napoleon Hill. The book was written in 1937, and the man talks extensively about the power of thinking yourself forward and all the rest of it. So if it's good enough for the Carnegie family and Henry Ford and everybody else, good enough for me. Mm-hmm.
And I laugh at that because I've shared with people the concept of when you were 21, you didn't have any idea what you were going to be doing when you were 31, and when you were 31, you looked back at what you thought you were going to be doing. Yeah. And it's never the same journey. No. So why do we think we have the ability right now to know exactly where we're going to be 5 years from now or 10 years from now? But it's we have to keep living the path and doing the path, and it takes you down a direction, but you don't really know 100% where you're going. You know where your target is. Yes. But you don't know what it's going to look like when you get, and you don't know what it's going to look like when you get there.
Which is kind of exciting.
It's very exciting, but it's life.
It is. Yeah, we're both crunching our noses because it's a bit smelly, but it is. It's very true, and I think from an entrepreneur's perspective, that's probably the biggest stressor.
Absolutely.
And when you're launching, like you are with My Healthy Community, it's that unknown factor can be the best and the worst.
Yes.
So keeps you charged, keeps you going.
It keeps you charged. It creates a pucker factor at times too. Where's this going?
Yes. Well, full disclosure. I had a car issue on Monday, and it turned into a rather massive car issue, and Ken knows about this, and I have a Honda van, and it was making very bad noises. And I know enough about cars that if it's making bad noises, I need to do something. Took it straight to the dealership because it's under warranty, and then I got a phone call from the dealership, and this ties into the pucker thing. I promise it comes back. And the woman said to me, "Do you want the good news first or the bad news first?" And I said, "Well, it's 6 and 2 3s," not knowing what was coming. And so then she unleashes this whole, Mount Vesuvius form of vomit about how the pistons in my engine were shot, and this was shot, and that was shot. Now, we all know that if something goes sideways with your engine, you're looking at thousands and thousands of dollars. And I don't know of anybody who's okay with, taking that. And then she said the words that everybody wants to hear: it's all covered by warranty, including your rental car. So everything, relaxed. And I said to her, okay, I'm in communications. So from me to you, I'm going to give you a little tip. And she starts laughing, and I said, the minute you started talking pistons and whatever, I think I had a minor heart attack. My whole body tensed up, and there was some involuntary sphincter clenching to prevent
Pucker
me.
factor.
Yeah, to prevent me from, spinning my sofa. And she's laughing hysterically at this point. She's like, I've never had anybody describe it that way. I said, that doesn't mean it's not happening for those people. They just don't have my, gift for illustration. And I said, so next time, here's how it goes. Everything I'm about to tell you is covered by your warranty. And then the sphincter remains nice and relaxed and everything's good. And you can poop later that day. Because it's not cool.
That's funny.
Yeah, so that it definitely, I can't wait to have a first mate so that the pucker factor is a little less
Well, it's
prevalent.
somebody to keep you going. It's somebody to keep you focused. It's somebody to keep you
Absolutely.
accountable. But it's also somebody that you can ask to do things, and you don't have to be right all the time. You're
Which
able
it
to
is.
bounce things off of other people and move forward together.
Yeah, and I have a build buddy, which is fantastic, which I know you have a fantastic network of people that are supporting you, not only with the Echelon group, but with My Healthy Community. And, there's good and bad in that, I think. When either people aren't, when they do hold you accountable, you both have to work at that. My build buddy is on vacation, but I sent her a text yesterday morning to say, hey, how you doing? Just wanted to let you know that this is where I'm at with my goals. These are my goals for next week. Hope you're having a great vacation. Because we had discussed beforehand, she found vacation very discombobulating to her business because, like me, she works from home. She has small kids. I don't. I have kids, but they're big. They have their own discombobulation issues. But she found vacation so worrying because she keeps getting off track. And I said, okay, it's not selfish of you to take half an hour every day of your vacation because you're going to be thinking about it anyway. It's just like trying to go to bed and not write stuff out. Your brain is just going to puke at you no matter what. So take half an hour. That's okay. Boys play on the beach, like whatever. And it's not taking away from the value of your vacation, but you'll come back a lot less stressed. So my build buddy and I checked in, and then my mastermind group, we're meeting next week, probably virtually. And then you and I have something going on mastermind-wise that we're going to keep going. So I completely agree with you. That first mate thing. So should I call you, what's his name?
I don't even know where this is going, and
It's going around.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
promise
No,
you.
I think of the ship analogies. There's Columbus, and there's
No,
who was
Spock.
beside Columbus. But yeah, you're going with the Star Trek
I
thing.
am.
And, yeah,
I like Chris Pine.
yeah. I
So-
just don't know those characters as well. But I don't know Columbus very well either, to be honest. So.
Apparently he was a very nice man. Alright, so yeah, I know that was a bit of a roundabout, but when you are an entrepreneur and these kinds of things happen, you don't share them with people. People tend to walk around alone. And you and I have had several conversations that has provided, I think, relief on both ends because we're like, you feel that way too.
Yes. Well, when you've got your first mate, a good first mate, that person is vested. They have the same goals as you do. When you have colleagues that you're working with that are trying to keep you accountable, they're colleagues that you're working with that are trying to keep you accountable.
Yeah.
They're not your first mate. They're not vested the same.
Yeah.
And that difference is it's not just subtle. It's a very big difference. Having somebody that's that close that can push you forward. So I think...
Or say no.
Or say no, yeah. They don't need to be a yes person. They're
They're
a
the worst.
person. Yeah. You don't want somebody that just agrees with everything you say because
And then you get completely off track and
you're not challenging yourself.
You're
You're in your
rudderless.
own comfort zone.
You're rudderless.
You're
We'll
rudderless.
keep with the shippy thing. So when you started the original Echelon I was going to say incarceration. Not the right word.
No.
Incarnation.
That's the word.
Yeah. So sorry about the jail reference. When did you have to pivot?
Well, so with the Echelon Group, with the IT consulting piece, IT consulting changed a lot.
For
So
certain.
in the year 2000, when our company sold, things were right at the peak, and you really couldn't do anything wrong. You almost couldn't be a bad consultant. We actually were pretty good, and that was how we grew our business. We hired a whole lot of very good people, and we did really good stuff, and we were paid fair value. What happened over time as the market got tougher and tougher, people were not getting paid as well. And that there's a phrase I use now, it's the race to the bottom. And what's happened is customers are coming along and saying, well, that's really good. I can see that you're really good, but what can you do on price? And there's been a shift. And I talk to people, it's not just in the IT space, it's in a lot of spaces where everybody wants something, but they want it for a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
So then in around 2014, I had some of the best consultants that I knew in the area, and they were doing great jobs, and clients kept asking us to lower the price, demand that we lowered the price, and we hit a point where we just couldn't afford to pay the guys what they were worth if we weren't getting the value from the clients. So it wasn't so much a subtle shift as it was, this isn't working anymore.
Yeah, it's broke.
So there's a lot of things that were great about Echelon, the company, having a business, having an HST number, having all those things that you do, but it was definitely time to find some new cheese.
Oh, I just saw that book the other day.
Did you see it? Isn't that that's one of the best books? It's a very, very quick read.
It is. I used it as part of
Who moved my cheese?
Yeah, the Center for Skills and Development offers a Career Explorations Express program that I took a few years ago.
Yes.
And it's based around that.
Yes.
I should revisit it, but I was just at a bookshop yesterday.
It's honestly one of the quickest reads you'll ever do, but it's a metaphorical story, but it's something that applies to every business.
Oh,
and if you're not always looking for new cheese, then at some point the cheese is going to be gone, and you're going to have to go find new cheese. So we started down the path.
Don't blame somebody else if you've lost your cheese.
That's right.
That was one of the things I took out of it, was the one mouse that was such a whiner.
Yeah.
And it was everybody else's job to help him find his cheese.
Yes.
And the other mouse was going, no, you need to buck up and put your big cheese pants on.
Yes. Yes.
Not everybody's job to do that. So with the Echelon Group and what you're doing now, it's my alarm.
Huh.
Oh, wow, something sounds really.
I was hearing a noise and I was trying to figure out what that was.
It was like a fairy sound.
Yes.
Don't ask.
That's okay.
So what outcomes can people expect? I keep leaning back. Can people expect from working with you? From an Echelon Group perspective.
So from an Echelon Group, so the IT component, which admittedly there's not as much there now, but we're still very good at the consulting side of things, helping people. We were software consultants. We would build applications, getting them up and running, integrate them with other applications that you're already running, making sure they were secure, making sure they could handle lots of volume, and so on and so forth.
Right.
The other side of Echelon, the health side, the wellness side, and I'm not sure if you want to jump right into that right now, or if you want to move into that shortly.
We're going to wrap up in 2 minutes on this side, and then we're going to jump into the health side.
So from an outcomes perspective, that's a good question. The outcomes from a consulting perspective, you're going to get systems that are working well, integrated well, so on and so forth. They last. From an outcomes perspective on the wellness side, why don't we tie that into the next part?
Yeah. No, sounds good. Sounds good. So what are you most proud of so far as a business owner?
The fact that I am one.
Which is very awesome.
It has things to it that, it sounds so easy. Oh yeah, you just have to do this, but the things you have to learn as you go along the way, learning how to deal with the banks, learning how to deal with other folks. It's not that you didn't know how to do them before, but now you're doing them with the ultimate responsibility. So I am very proud of that. I sometimes can be hard on myself from a perspective of, well, shouldn't it be doing so much better than it is? So I think a lot of us go through that, and you and I have had conversations along that path as well. But yeah, just to have done this, and as I said, starting it in 2006, so I guess we're coming up on 10 years with
good for you. And it's your birthday
Echelon
on Sunday
Group.
too.
And it's my birthday on Sunday, yeah.
I'm not gonna say.
No, and it's probably getting close. I think it was probably around September of 2006 that we started, so it's my 10th business anniversary, and I'm not going to tell you what anniversary of my birth it is.
29.
Again.
Yes. 29 plus a few, but that's okay. So you're nice and shiny. So that's very cool. So you have a major business and tech background, which really goes a long way towards this new project that you're moving into.
Right.
Which is fantastic. And so we're gonna wrap up. I mean, do you have final words of wisdom about being a business owner, or?
You know what? It's
Other than finding your Spock?
No, the thing is, what I would say more than anything is, don't be afraid of it. because the downsides of starting your own business, it's not that there aren't any, but the fear of not doing it and finding out later that you could have are way worse. So it's quite, find a way to do it, and
Do it
they
smartly.
could be, do it smartly, do all the smart things that you need to do some research, don't enter in ad hoc, but I guess the biggest thing is don't be afraid. Find a way not to be afraid, because the fear is going to be there. It is going to be there. You're going to go through it, but find a way. Yeah.
See, I met two young ladies at an event a couple of weeks ago, and they were sent over to me, which was kind of nice, because they're like, go talk to Elizabeth, she knows everybody. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. That or I talk too much, one of the two. And these two young ladies have an idea for a business that actually ties into a section of what I do, because I'm now working more closely with agile leadership training and development, organizational change, and what have you. And the first they said, well, we have this idea, and it's an iteration of what already exists. And I don't think they realize that. And I said, okay, my first question to you is, do you both have jobs? And they said, yes. I said, under no circumstances do you quit those jobs. And they both looked at me and they're like, no. I'm like, no, I am dead friggin' serious. You have financial stability right now, which then allows you to move past that fear.
Yes.
And I can connect you to the right people who will be able to tell you if your business is viable or not. Do not quit. And I'll connect you to other people and whatever, but keep your damn job.
Yes.
So,
Wise words.
Well, you learn. You either go gray or bald, but you learn. So thank you very much, Mr. Jaques, my captain, my first mate, my Spock.
My pleasure. And I will learn all the characters from Star Trek for the next time we have this conversation.
Which will be in like 10 minutes, so we'll have to see how that goes. Thank you for joining me across the apothecary. This was phase 1 of getting to know Mr. Jaques, and we will be back to learn about this amazing new project, My Healthy Community, and we'll give you details on how to find out more about My Healthy Community. And the Echelon Group can be found at www.echelongroup.ca, Echelon Group. If you're looking for consulting on IT services and what have you, this is your man, and he's trustworthy because I don't have jerks on my show. So,
Thanks, Elizabeth.
talk to you soon. Bye-bye.